I like Joe Burrow. And so it was good, but it was good to see him back on the field. And look, the test will truly be like playing, right, in a game, because practice is never going to really truly reflect the conditions of being on the field, playing on game day. But he looked good. He looked good, was throwing passes, and the way everyone was speaking, his teammates, coaches. I love this. He announced on his IG story, I'm back. But, I think that everyone seems positive, like the coach commit completely to saying that he would play game one. But I think that's just I think that's smoke. I think he's going to be playing. What do you think, Reeta?
I mean, you got to make that the possibility, right? Because Joey Burrow is the best quarterback that team has, obviously, by a long shot. And even with the wide receivers and the weapons that they have around him, and any quarterback that would come in, he still gives that team the best chance to win. You do wonder how cautious they're going to be, because we've heard Jamar Chase talking and saying, well, I'm surprised that he came back. I thought that he should wait a couple weeks into the season to come back, because I think that what happened is that injury was probably a little bit more dangerous of a tear than what we've been perceived to be told. And so you're wondering, how healthy he is. But I also understand that, Joe Burrow is a competitor. He wants to get back out there on the field, and he wants to try to be out there for his teammates. And look, yes, he plays for the Bengals. Obviously, as a Ravens fan and a person that watches the Ravens on a regular basis, I'm not thrilled about it, but I think that he's a great quarterback. I think he's a great competitor, and he's great for the National Football League. You just want to make sure, if you're the Bengals, that you're not putting him into the fire too soon, because you don't want to re-aggravate an injury and make it worse than it already is. So it will be interesting, because the Ravens do play the Bengals week 2. So if I had to guess, if he's not ready by week 1, we're definitely going to see him out there week 2, because there's some bad blood going on between those two teams. I got to assume that he'll be back by then.
Can they risk, though, starting their season without him for a few games? I mean, it's one of the toughest, it's a tough division, tough conference.
Exactly. And again, you play an intra-squad game at the very least at week 2. I obviously don't know what their first 4 games look like, but I know what their second game looks like. And that's their biggest rival in the Ravens, right? And all the talking that we've heard in the offseason, everybody's fired up after this game, particularly, the Ravens played the Bengals in their last game in the playoffs. And we remember how that ended. So I just don't know how you're able to say, oh, we're going to be able to play without Joe Burrow week 2. I definitely think that he's going to try his best to be out there, because you don't want to go down 0-1, in terms of your division. You don't want to have that opportunity of saying we're behind, so now we have to play catch up. And so it's funny, because last year the Bengals started 0-3 with Joe Burrow. They struggled. And they're going to deal with some struggles as well, because I believe La'el Collins, their offensive tackle that they just got this offseason, is on the PUP list. So he's not going to play the first 4 weeks anyway. So there's going to be some issues there. But obviously you want Burrow out there, number one, at 100%, or at least close to 100%, because you don't want him to re-aggravate that injury. But also he gives you the best chance to compete within his own division, let alone the rest of his schedule.
Yeah. Well, look, I'm always for making sure we do what's best for the players' health. Unfortunately,
but sometimes the players, sometimes it's the players, right?
It's
how much
players,
of this is Joe Burrow?
Sport. It's all of it. It's a money making business. The NFL is a money making business, and so look, we just hope that they look, they're gonna always be a little bit more cautious because it's their quarterback, but you want to make sure you're not putting him in harm's way, and also that we want to see Joe Burrow do Joe Burrow things on the field. So
except week 2. Okay,
for you, my girl, I will. Okay, because it's not like it's my team. It's not like he's my QB. I just really like him. So I will put my
good dude, great player, even better person. You know what I mean? But hey, when enemy lines get there, you got to cross them. Okay, week 2, I don't really want to see them do well. Period, because they're in the division. Maybe if he played somewhere else, I'd be more inclined to be like, I really want Joe Burrow to be great. But because that he's in the Ravens division, I don't want them to be great. But I know he's going to do that anyway, because that's just the type of player that he is. So I know I'm going to be disappointed a lot of times this season already.
Heard you.
Hey, thank you for watching Brother from Another. If you haven't hit that subscribe button, go ahead and do that now. Don't forget, you can catch us 3 to 4 weekdays on PeacockTV.com and on Sirius XM Channel 85.